Hello and welcome to the Dokapon Library, your one-stop shop for Connect videos that get almost immediately outdated. Cause the Steam release of Dokapon Kingdom Connect has received a small patch update on September 28th. The patch notes don't actually refer to a specific version number for this update, and while Steam itself does give a build ID for the game, it is rather long. Thankfully, the title screen of the game itself gives the exact time and date that this build was made. For this version, it was 2:20 PM on September 25th, so I'll be referring to this update as the 925 build. As for the patch itself, it's mainly centered around UI and controller adjustments for the main menu, with the headliner change being how full screen works. Starting the game for the first time will now default the game to full screen. And there's an additional setting in the options to switch full screen on and off. The Alt and Enter method of full screen in the game does still work in this build, the game even makes mention of this method, but it is now not the only way to achieve full screen. Additionally, the game window size help text now mentions that it only applies to window mode, since full screen is now a natural part of the options. On the main menu, the button icons will switch automatically when using either the keyboard or controller. When I press a button on the controller, all the controller prompts will appear, and when I press a button on the keyboard, all the keyboard prompts will appear. The patch notes also mention that this change only applies to main menu navigation, since the game itself limits you to only one controller input per player. And finally, the game now allows keyboard inputs to be used when naming your character in offline matches. When pressing enter on the keyboard during the naming process, a separate window will appear, allowing you to enter a name with your keyboard. Instead of having to type the name out one character at a time, this keyboard input allows you to create a name much more quickly. The keyboard input itself even allows for more character types than the default naming screen, such as the vertical bar symbol, and brackets, and curly brackets. Or at least one curly bracket, the starting one gets filtered out. There are also other strange occurrences with the keyboard input, like the backslash key will input the yen symbol into the field, which also gets filtered out when sending it to the game. Or the @ symbol will show up as nothing in the game, cause the game's @ symbol is different from your keyboard's @ symbol. But things get even weirder when trying to copy and paste certain symbols into the field. Sometimes it will give a question mark, sometimes it won't work at all, but on certain occasions, magic will happen. From my testing, copying and pasting certain accented letters won't give the accented letters, but will instead give you the Japanese katakana symbols. These are normally not accessible in the English release. Trying to copy and paste katakana in normally will only get a question mark, but they can still be accessed through this alternative mean. I do not know to what extent this keyboard input can be messed with, but it's certainly fun to see how it reacts to different symbols. Long story short, keyboard input is good for fast name creation, but it's implemented haphazardly. And that's it in terms of updates. Nothing about the main game itself was said to be changed, only main menu stuff was updated. Overall, this update makes the main menu experience a bit more refined, but not much else. Thank you for joining me on this Dokapon update news update, and I'll see you later for some more Dokapon content.